Thanks for coming to hang out with us today. Ruck Up Buttercup is a podcast hosted by Deployed Love. We chat about real things that military families deal with and help you to love the call to action. So you know the drill. Ruck Up Buttercup. Ruck Up Buttercup podcast can be found on all your favorite streaming location. As well, we are now available on Reach Across America Radio on Fridays at 11 p.m. and Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can find Reach Across America Radio on the iHeartRadio app, the Odyssey app, and the TuneIn app. Just search the word Reach. Can't wait to see you there. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Ruck Up Buttercup. We are so glad to have you here. We have Heather Mitchell with us. She is all things fashion and style and body type, and we are so excited to have her on. I know me and Ashley, I think it may just because we're kind of in our mid-30s and kind of trying to decide, like, I don't fit that 20s style that I used to wear, and like, what do I wear now as a mom? So I'm super excited to talk to you and have kind of like a better idea going out of this, because if you guys follow us on TikTok, and maybe you've seen my personal TikTok, I have been posting about this. I'm like, I want to try to find outfits, and I know this outfit fits me well, but I don't know why or like what it is. So I'm really excited for you to be on with us. If you want to go ahead and kind of introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Awesome. So I am a style therapist. I also am a body love yoga coach. So one of the things I do is I teach women how to understand their body, love their body shape, and then dress for the life they want. So it's really it and also something just to touch base with is like your seasons, as becoming a mom, it's not the season of being 20 and maybe in the club or, your style changes, it evolves, your personality changes, you grow. That's life, and that's supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to just kind of dive into what your guys' style used to be, what you would like it to be, and then what you are enjoying wearing lately. And then also talking about some colors, just getting to know. I love learning about, I know what colors I love. And so I just love learning, like, what do people actually look at when they're shopping versus like, what do they actually buy?
Yeah, funny story. Before like we had brought you on, I had actually done a color analysis like virtually. So obviously like that's you have to kind of they're not doing it in person. So I had to send her photos and things like that. And it was really great because like I've always gravitated to those autumn colors. I just don't like bright colors on me type of thing, but I wanted to confirm whether I was an autumn or if I wasn't. And according to her, I'm a deep autumn, which are great. It's great because it's all the colors, like that green, that mauve-y red color, those light purple colors, teals. And so, which is nice because I was like, wearing so much like black and I felt washed out, but it's 90% of my wardrobe was that. So then I started changing it into like dark brown because dark brown was one of those colors, and I could see the warmth come back into my face, and I didn't look the best way for me to say it. Like I always just looked kind of washed out if I wore all black. I still wear black, don't get me wrong, because I mean those are just some staple pieces and you can't get far from them. But it's great. It's so interesting when you find out what colors look good on you. And it gives you that confidence because I think you had said something about that in your email to us, like, where you were like, I found this perfect shade of red and it gives me that confident boost. And it's so great, especially for moms, because I feel like, I don't know about those who are listening, and I know Sabrina probably feels the same way about this, but like, I mean, we live in athletic wear 90% of the time, so we don't feel put together. I work from home, so like I don't get to wear a lot of nicer clothes unless like I'm getting dressed up for a special event. And I kind of got this past year was when it got to that point where I was like, I need things that make me feel happy. Like even if I only wear it like once a month, once a summer, I want something that like I can get dressed up and look like a person and not just someone who's treading water just to get through everyday life. And so I started picking up these like pieces and creating these outfits, and it just changed my mentality. And I'm trying to start to get into that, like where even if I don't leave my house, I'm getting dressed for the day. Like I'm putting on something that makes me feel good. And I think a lot of it comes down to just like accepting where my body is right now, because that's always been a huge struggle. Like we got the mommy tummy, and we talked about this in our email. We kind of confirmed that I have an hourglass shape, and you want to,
Yeah, you went straight for like you had no shape, and like the second I saw your photo on, I was like, maybe I'm like mislooking at her
No, and
body, but like
I identified with that square shape because I try to hide my tummy so much. So I'm always wearing like really boxy like shirts, like things that give me that very squared look. Because if I do like a crop top shirt or something that like, where it like, or a bodysuit with like high waisted jeans, my flupa, whatever you want to call it, is just way too prominent for my liking. And so I try to always mask that. So then I always feel like I'm very straight and boxy.
so the goal is of understanding your body shape is really always highlighting the smallest point, which is for you it was your waist. Yes, you were a little fuller in the midsection. But like one of the things I really like want to talk about, especially with women and understanding their body, is like you carried a whole human inside of you and you
Mm-hmm.
created, and like that is really powerful, and we forget to like give ourselves like gratitude for doing that work, and then grace for the fact that your body is not what it was before.
Yep.
And if you can also understand that your body will never be what it was before because you did something that like only half of the population, like only women are able to do. And so like I think when you learn to like honor that, then you can start to like really embrace the curves. And if losing weight is part of your journey, it becomes way easier when you give yourself grace and when you give yourself just like, I birthed this human. Like
Yep.
it's alive, it's healthy, and it's well. And like, I did this, my body did this. No other body did that. I mean, other bodies do it, but like for that child, you did that.
Yep.
And so as we transition and and women, we get older, our hormones change. We, unlike men, we have just hormones flooding in all the time. Also, to society, you can fat shame a woman all day long, but you cannot do that to a man. And for some reason, we've gotten this like really bad way of like talking really negative about our body. I actually
Mm-hmm.
talked about this TikTok yesterday. Somebody called me chubby, and my instant response to them was like, I'm not chubby. I left an abusive relationship. My body had to like reacclimate its nervous system. But I'm like, I teach 15 classes a week and I can hold push ups and do more physical activity than most men I know. And I was like, just because I carried a lot of weight, it was like I was all suddenly defined one way. So I think that allowing yourself to like let go of like what it was supposed to be and then creating a newness, because your body's even stronger now. Like you birthed a child. And like I a lot of clients, like I sit with them and there's a lot of tears over it, and I know that it's a really hard thing to deal with, your body becoming a whole different form. But like you should honor it, and you should honor the curves that you like created, that like some women don't get those opportunities.
Yeah,
So
I definitely like, I'm not like, I definitely have noticed like my hips are wider, and I actually like that. Like I like having like a little bit more of that curviness, where I
yeah.
feel like before I had kids, I was kind of like more straighter, like my hips weren't not as prominent. And I love having that figure. I love having that. I guess like I mean, and I feel like that's every mama. Like we're always so insecure about our babies. And I'm very proud of, like you said, like be very proud of like what your body can do, because women's bodies can do some amazing things. Like I feel
Hmm.
like, if superpowers were real, we have a superpower. Like
Yeah.
no one else can create life like we can. And it's one of those things where like, it's just one of the self insecurities. Like, but like I said, I've been like slowly like working, and I think this was such a fun episode for us to get to do, because like we get to learn like what like shapes look best. Like I love this like square shape, and I think that was one like the thing that you sent over, that I feel like it kind of makes my chest area, which is a little bit larger, look a little bit more symmetrical, because again, I'm a mama and we know that
Yeah.
that changes too. And so like that's always been a struggle for me too, is like, finding things that will like, how do you try to dress your body when your body changes? Because we do grow. Like even if you don't have kids, age plays such in a a role in that as well. I mean, I don't bounce back the same way I did in my 20s.
No, I was gonna say I use the mom excuses for where my body is, but then I'm like, wait, my child is almost 10 years old. That is not like that's not fully what that is anymore. I'm like, it is also aging, and like my body is gravity is pulling things down also. I've noticed. So it's like I know it's changed partially also because of age. I did have gigantic children, so like that did some major damage. Like that's why my hips are very large, and I think you carry 11-pound babies. Your hips have to hold that much weight.
Yeah.
They have to expand. My biggest thing, though, my biggest challenge has always been my leg length. So my husband is 6'3", and my legs are the same height as him. His legs, like our hips are equal, and
You
so
have
I can never find pants that fit me right in any way, because if I go bigger to go around like my hips and stuff, then they're like really, really baggy on my legs, because I don't hold the weight in my legs. I hold it in my booty, and then they are not long enough otherwise if I go smaller. So it's like that's been my biggest struggle, I think, with my body, is the shape of it being triangular, and then it literally ends at the bottom of the triangle. I feel like, and then my legs are like little chicken legs compared to the rest, and it's like, man, finding clothes for height and that size is crazy.
I definitely feel like I want to note on that one. I definitely think that's an industry thing, and like every brand has got different sizing. I think that's one of my biggest, like, when you go shopping, and you might be able to like talk about this a little bit more, Heather, but like I know, like, if I go to different stores, shopping sizes is not consistent across the board, and that I think also plays a huge like role in like me shopping and finding clothes. Like I'll go to one store and I can fit in a 8, and then I go to another store and it's like a size 14, and I'm just like,
That's super hard. Yeah.
And you know, I've learned over the years, like, you know, I'm never like focused on like the weight size of like my body, like, because, you know, everyone holds their weight differently. You know, I could be the same weight as someone who is pin straight skinny, looks like a supermodel. Like I think that's important for everyone to know, that weight shouldn't be like, you should want to just feel good in your skin. But when you go to a store and you're like, oh, I'm a size 8, let me try this 8 on, and you can't even get it over your thighs, that really does put a damper on
It
like
does.
your.
And so when you understand, so that is also like, this is part of it, like why I say measurements. So a lot of stylists are like, oh, if you just have this and this, and like I can look at you and tell pretty fast. Like I didn't even look at your measurements, and even when I felt like I was like, oh, it's off, like I can tell looking, you're an hourglass, I can tell looking that you are a triangle. But your measurements are really important, because a lot of us shop online nowadays, and so this helps you be successful. Because imagine like ordering from Amazon. I'm just an example. And you're like, I'm a size large. And you order all of these large items, and 75% of them you have to return because they don't fit. That messes with your brain.
Mhm.
That makes you feel really insecure in your body. And then you're like, great, I was going to do this really nice thing for myself. And then,
And then you
you
just
don't
feel
want to
bad
do
about
it.
it.
Yeah. Cause now you just like, so if you look at your shapes, look at your colors, and focus on measurements, you create success right out of the window.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I love about styling, because like going to therapy, losing weight, gaining weight, whatever it is that you need to do, career, entrepreneurship, like however your trajectory takes a long time. But getting dressed, we get dressed every day. We put our pants on. Like, I don't know if you saw my website, but I have like this cool little video. And I really just talk about how you put your pants on one leg at a time. Doesn't matter what pants they are. You put the shirt on the same way. So you might as well put one that makes you feel good, that makes you like, it's all the same. And also like the, as mothers, we are a product of, like, our children are a product of how we choose to show up. So if you're showing up in self-love, I'm not saying you need to be a glamour queen every day. Like I know that some people do that. That's like, being reasonable for your life. Then your children start to see that, and then they are like, oh, this is like really important. And it's not about anybody else. It isn't, a lot of people think like fashion or dressing or all of this is like some really like superficial thing. It's about imagine if you weren't pulling at your shirt all day or tugging at your hair, or for you worried about your length of your pants or all of that stuff. Like, imagine if all of that went away and you could just live your life and feel really comfortable. And so one of the things that people forget about is alterations. For somebody who has really long legs, you might have to buy longs, and then you need to have them tapered in. Somebody with a bigger like hip and butt area, like your legs, some people, their legs are just slimmer. I have really thick thighs and a really big butt. I do a lot of yoga, so my butt is like thankfully really high, but I've always had thick legs, and I struggled with the same thing, just in the opposite. Like, it was like by the time I got them up to my thighs, then my waist is gapping, and then my pants. So one of the things that fashion taught me, working high-end fashion, runway, behind the scenes, every item is altered. Every item is pinned. Every single person, they are stitching on set. Like, this is not how the clothes actually look. You should see the behind the scenes. There's clips everywhere. And so what it does is it makes the consumer feel really bad about their body, because you're like, why can't I go into the store and find this? Well, you have a girl probably with an eating disorder wearing clothing that is completely tailored and pinned and clipped to fit her body. And it just, like, that's my reminder for like everybody. Alterations is like the 100%, especially you both said you had shorter torsos. I have a really long torso. So like some of the times you're going to have to navigate like that height difference. Also, shorter torsos, that high-waisted denim, although it feels like it covers the belly, might not be the right place for you to show your waist in the best light, giving you the smallest point. I also, one of the things I teach that I think I don't do Spanx. I don't do any of that type of stuff, because if you aren't comfortable, now if you want a little extra for a special event, or
so I have like one of those really skin tight dresses. I wear my Spanx under it, but that's about the only one.
I don't want to wear it all day every day.
Yeah, like I don't. Like, my shapewear is literally what I teach yoga, and like the last thing I want to do when I'm trying to feel sexy or feel good about in my body is putting on something that like takes my, like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
And I don't care what any of these TikTok influencers say or people say, like, it is not comfortable being sucked in and
like
snatched.
A sausage. I mean, it's just like
yeah.
awful.
So I really try to teach and then accept where you are, because if you do have goals, it makes it so much easier, because also too, you've brought self-awareness to your body. You've accepted it, you've honored it, and I think that makes it easier to show up and get dressed every day and really love who you are as a person. And it's just like a little moment of like self-care, is like putting that dress on that is that perfect color that snatches the waist. Like I imagine you in like a cute little pumpkin, like a deep pumpkin colored dress with some, like a little wrap dress, and it just makes you feel really.
And you know what's that's so funny, because like I've always steered clear of wrap dresses, because I've always felt that like, and I was like I haven't tried a wrap dresses in years, so I should start that off, because I always felt it just made me feel like wider, like too shapely, and I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm okay with that little bit of like hip curve shapes. I've always tried to kind of like, I don't know what my mindset was, like slim it down, so just wear like straight lines and I'll look more slimmer. But then
I think that's that 90s beauty industry where everybody was like, you need to just look like you have nothing. You're just straight, flat.
Yeah, like you're, yeah.
Well, and I feel like, I guess like also like, I feel like wrap dresses, like I feel like I'm really largely chested, but because I am like different sizes with the ladies, I typically don't wear a bra that looks good in like wrap dresses. Like I'm typically wearing like a sports bra, or like a yoga bra, like something that's just straight across that keeps them kind of like up against my chest, because I'm two different sizes. So when I wear a normal bra, it to me, it doesn't look good under clothing. Like I have one side that's like spilling over, or I have it, or it's too big, so then you have like this weird gap filler thing happening. I've been thankful. I feel like there's a lot of brands out now who have bras that are kind of working, at least for my body type right now, until I can make that fix or however it is. But I, for the longest time, was just like trying to cover up that like bit of
So
being.
some things that might work, and this for a triangle body shape especially, is pieces. So maybe you don't get a dress because then you have that like gapping.
Mhm.
And if you struggle, especially when you have a bigger chest, like you struggle with like buttons
Mhm.
and not necessarily in your hip area. So for the triangle, you're probably going to need less fabric on top, more fabric on the bottom. So pieces that give you that faux like wrap around at the waist is also a really great option, and it's a really good way to like build your wardrobe and make it go longer. So instead of having one piece, you now have two pieces,
Mhm.
and those can be paired differently to create a look. And so that's something that is also really great. And in fashion right now, it is really like in style having like that full like pattern like long look. And if you bought the two pieces, then you can pair them separately with the things that you need. So maybe if it's like a flowier pant with kind of like a wrap top, maybe the flowier pant goes with like a darker bodysuit and like a little boxier for the triangle shape, like a little boxier top or like a boxier blazer, where like with the hourglass you would want something a little softer around the shoulders. And then if you did more of like that wrap top, then you can put it with, for an hourglass it would be a little bit of a slimmer pant or like a tighter a fitted pant. And then with a triangle you would probably want to do like a straight leg. And so that's a really good way of taking one outfit and making it go in multiple directions, and especially when you have kind of the mismatch of the top and the bottom not necessarily being the same shape or same size.
Yeah, at least with swimsuits. I haven't really like learned a lot about that in outfits, but in swimsuits I learned that because I have always not had a lot here in the chest area. I know that. I don't care. Okay. But so I have just worn sports bras because I've never really felt the need to like put any other support system there. There's not enough there to worry about, I guess. And I've learned though that I'm like, yes, I'm going to continue to buy my swimsuits now as two different pieces. No, nothing comes together in a set because I have to get something. Either my butt cheeks are hanging out or my boobies are hanging out at this point because it's too big and it's like
Right.
flopping around. And so I learned
And
with swimsuits, I think.
it's interesting how like you accommodate that for like this one item, but then you forget
To do it to the
to
other.
like do that in every other like every, your daily outfits. And so it's so interesting how we just forget.
It's completely true though, because I feel like even this shirt is like huge on me, and it's because I know I went up a size in pants, and so I was like, well, I probably should be getting larges in shirts now because I've gained weight, like, right, I should proportionately purchase larger clothing. And then, but when I, like, some of the pictures I sent to you with, like, the crop tops on, I feel best in really tight fitted, like, crop tops on the top because I don't carry the weight here. So I'm like, oh, I might as well go off here because this is where I am and I like where my body is here. And then, but then I end up buying these things because I'm like, oh, well, this is casual. This is like, it goes with the big baggy pants. And
So let's talk about that. So let's talk about why you buy what you buy, because that's where the change happens, right? We got to understand why you do it. So like you're like, well, I went up a size, so I must have gone up a size. So like why when you look at a rack, like what makes you buy something? Are you looking for comfort, or are you looking for functionality, or are you just like maybe not happy with your body, so you're like, this will do and I don't have to deal with it
I
right
think in general clothes, like the stuff I'm like Ashley, I homeschool, so we are home 90% of the year. So I do look for just like, oh, this is gonna be super comfy to sit on the couch, right? But lately I have like, and the pictures that I sent you are, I want to look nicer. Specifically, I live over here in Europe, so you cannot get away with a band tee and jean shorts here. That's just, they will all be like, what are you doing? So I've been shopping for more what I want to look like when I go out of the house. And so those clothing items, though, when I do purchase them, I do try them on now. And I'm like, and I like how they fit and what they look like versus what
Yeah, you
I will just
great.
grab off the shelf because I'm like, oh, this is comfy. This is big. It's baggy, you know. Yeah.
The outfit you sent me was like spot on to an outfit I would have told you to
And
wear.
that's like the one outfit I wear religiously now. Like I know that it looks good on me. I don't know why it looks good on me. And that's why I've even put that on TikTok. Like, hey, what
Yeah,
do
you
I
do.
need to buy to purchase more things that make me look like this? Because I feel like I just feel really good when I go out in that outfit. So
let's talk about that. So let's talk about that outfit. So what happened is it widened your shoulders, which balanced your hips. Then they met, so the shirt was slightly cropped and the pants were, I wouldn't say they were really high waist, but I say like mid rise.
yeah.
So what it did was it nailed you right in your smallest point. So now you've created your waistline. So you've balanced out that triangle at the top into like an inverted triangle, and you've created this illusion of an hourglass. So then you have those pants that that flowed down your curves, and it created that symmetry because the goal is to create an hourglass, right? Because you want the balance.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you shop, that's the styles you should buy. Anything. So when you're shopping, what you want to look at is an inverted triangle. So you want to buy anything that's going to add volume here. So you had that like little, like it was a collar and then it
Like straight across shoulders.
yeah. So it went down. So you're going to want to buy anything that creates the inverted triangle. So you're a triangle, you want anything that creates the opposite.
Okay.
And so that's when you shop, you're like, great, I already have a fuller bottom. And all you want things for your bottom half to be really natural with it, like a straighter like pant like you had. Like it wasn't taking it back down into the bottom like how the skinny jeans would probably not be the most attractive look on there because it goes around and then drops it back down. And so what you want is to create that really symmetry, that symmetrical line.
Mm-hmm.
So for you focus on anything that provides you balance. So it's volume at the top and cinching into your waist.
So yeah, the only thing I was kind of interested about was crop tops as a short, like waisted.
Yeah.
Is that not something I should do? Because those have been the shirts. Like baby tees and crop tops are the ones that I feel like look the best on my body type.
They're fine.
Okay.
That's also you can throw all these rules out the window if you feel really fabulous in something. If you're like, listen, I don't care. This makes me feel so wonderful. I don't matter. It doesn't matter. The rules can just go away. Yeah. But it's fine because you are short-waisted and it's not like for me, a crop top for me comes right underneath my breast line. It's a big difference. Like I have a very long torso. My like ribs go all the way. Like I have a huge separation. So I have like a lot of torso. So you really only, like when I saw your photo, you had a very small gap between the two.
Yeah.
And so I don't think, based on the photos I'm seeing, like it really just streamlined it in. Then you had the pant and it just opened up nicely around your hips. So when you shop, that's what you want to look for. So like the top that you have on right now, not coming for your top.
It's not a great top, I know.
He's like, I don't care. You can come for my top.
I say if you went down a size and then maybe you cinched it in a little bit, maybe you tied it in the back or something into the front, maybe it's something that you tucked in, it would bring it all in a little bit. Yeah. But when you add, like the sleeve volume is great, but then you need that waist. Then otherwise when you add too much fabric, you just make yourself look bigger than you are.
Yeah. And I think that's been mine. Like I went and bought clothes for the summer because I didn't have a lot of stuff. And so one of my biggest thing is like, you cannot buy baggy shirts, like to hide. You don't like, it makes you look wider, Ashley. Like you cannot do it. So like I bought like these little like crop tanks. I bought a bunch of bodysuits, which I was never really a bodysuit girl, but like I liked the way that it looked, like having the form fitting tops, and then having my high-waisted shorts or whatever I was wearing, and just trying to get past the mindset of like my stomach still looks like I still can see that like tummy. And there are times where I feel really, really great. Like I'm like, great. But then there'll be times where I look in the mirror and I'm just like, I still feel like I have that like apron belly, whatever you guys call it. And I'm 100% against wearing shapewear. But I think that's why I like the bodysuits, because it gives me like that extra layer of like, it's still comfortable. Like I'm not sucked in. So I have that layer of the bodysuit and then the layer of like the high-waisted jeans. So it gives me that little more flatter tummy look that I'm looking for. And it was just like a mindset. Like I was like, oh, I can do this. I can wear a bodysuit and still feel.
Bodysuits are made for an hourglass. Like, because the objective with a bodysuit is to give you that snatched in waist.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that is the goal of the bodysuit, is to really like enhance that waistline.
Mm-hmm.
And based on like the ones that are like super popular. But I think that also like we have angles, right? So sometimes we look in the mirror and like sometimes I'll catch like the wrong angle and I'm like, oh girl,
Mm-hmm.
what are we doing? And just remind yourself that it's like all angles.
Yeah,
it's all
it
like
is. Well, and I recently bought this outfit and it was way out of my comfort zone because, like I said, I tried to always kind of minimize my sides. So, like, I never went with like the flowy pants, especially shorts, because then I felt like it just flared out even more on my hips. And so I bought a bodysuit and I bought these really cute high-waisted linen shorts that were like flowy. It kind of looked like a skirt from one angle and then it looked like shorts from another angle. And it's one of my favorite outfits, and the amount of compliments I got in that outfit just made me feel so good. Like that's so cute. Like, where did you get it? And I'm just like, thank you. Like, I don't know where I got all this stuff, but
it's so interesting because both of you kind of said that like the second you got something that was out of your comfort zone, you felt way more comfortable in it.
Isn't that crazy?
So it's so funny that we choose to stay in a comfort
We do.
zone that is actually just doesn't serve us. And like my theme this week, as I'm taking this big move, or this month for yoga, is being comfortable being uncomfortable. So like the second you decide that you really want to try something new, it's going to work because your body, like, there's a reason you're usually attracted to something. A, it's either like tickling your trauma, or B, it's like it's what's meant for you,
Yeah.
right? And so you notice that every time you try something out of your comfort zone, clothing wise, people are like, wow, you're shining, you're glowing, you're sparkling. Like, it fits you really good. And it's this narrative that we tell ourselves. And so as a stylist, like, I get to be your friend and be like, no, that's not, like, you're just making this up in your head. You're being delusional. And I get to like call you out respectfully and get you to try those things and try the color that maybe, if you're drawn towards something, there's a reason why you're drawn towards it. And so to explore that, like, explore why you're drawn towards it. And also too, like, sometimes you have these things in your own wardrobe and it's just about reworking them. Like I said, like, sometimes it's just pairing it with a different item. A lot of us get really like into the way that we pair our clothing together. And we're like, this is it. This is the outfit. I'm not changing it. But you could wear it like 20 different ways. So that's also that's something that I do teach, is just sometimes it's all in your wardrobe. You have it there because most of us will shop for that non-comfort zone place, but then we just choose not to wear it because it makes us, I don't know, stand out, makes people pay attention to you. Most people don't like to be the center of attention. So, but it's good. Like, I'm glad you're trying new things. And
okay,
you're finding
I have an article that I want to try. So I wanted to talk to you about like how you would suggest me styling it, or even if it's a good one, because I am loving that the crocheted like vest like trend that's happening right now. As an hourglass,
like the old money vest, kind of.
maybe, I don't know, like I've always kind of stayed clear. I don't like my arms, but again, that's just my mentality. But I've been wearing, like, I do like this more boxy look because I think it like doesn't accentuate like the fat underneath the arm as much, but not necessarily like the denim vest, but like I've just been seeing all these little like crocheted like vests with like the buttons that come up and down. Let me see if I find a picture. But and like they're wearing like just a couple top buttons, and then like the rest are kind of like open, so it's just kind of like it kind of looks like a crop top, but then there's still like that length. But as an hourglass figure with that boxiness, I don't know how that would look or what would I do to style it, because like I think it's just so cute. Let me see if I can find a picture.
So I think it's where it just ties right in the front, right?
I've
It's a simple.
seen them where they tie. I've seen them where they like it's really I feel like it's really like a huge thing where they tie it where it's buttoned up.
Yeah. This.
Yeah, similar. Yeah,
Okay.
so that style.
So if you like this trend, perfect. I love this. I think this is adorable. What you need to focus on is the rest of the outfit.
Okay.
So you want to make sure whatever you're wearing on the bottom gets to your waistline. And then one of the issues that you did say is your bra. So are you going to do some like how are you going
Girl, I
to
don't know.
now?
That's why I was just like, I've seen them where like, there's some where it's just tied. Like there was one at Target the other day that I saw and I was like, this is really cute. Like it was more coverage. So I could wear a bra underneath it and then just leave the button on the bottoms open. I was with my kids that day, so I didn't try it on because I was not about to go into a dressing room with my two kids. But I think that's
I
just
see it has the buttons, the Target one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so buttons for you might be an issue just because your chest is larger. So a tie one would probably
Okay.
be a better option. And I would find a solution like actually Target. I have this bra on from Target. It's can't show it, but it's actually really comfortable. I thought it was going to be like an old lady bra, but it's like it has like a bigger strap,
Yeah,
but it's like nice and
Yep.
like sheer. So like something like that underneath it where you like can tie in front, and then you really want to make sure maybe it's a pencil skirt that you're wearing, or maybe it's a like more of a fitted pant, and that's what's going to draw that illusion in,
Okay.
because what you need to do is always focus on the waistline.
Okay.
So that's your smallest point. Yeah. And then just like get something, or even like one of your bodysuits, like a nude bodysuit. They also have like this really great, I think it's the Arden B or something. I got like a bodysuit from there, and
No,
it's
I've
just
got a
really
couple at
soft.
Target that I really like. Like they're just like really soft and they just add that like
Exactly.
coverage.
Really
Yeah.
soft, almost like invisible. That would be fine underneath, but you're going to need one that's a little bit fuller where you tie here.
Okay.
But for the triangle body shape, the button one would be perfect.
Yeah.
Based on what I'm seeing on here, it's a little wider sleeve, and then it buttons down, and then it opens up at like your belly button, which would be really good for you. And then you would have like a nice like a straighter leg pant going down. And so something
Not
if you
entirely my style. So my biggest thing, I think shopping has been weird because as a teenager and like before being a teenager, I've always been like skater, punk rock.
Mhm.
And then as an adult, like I was running a company, like, and so then I was like, well, I just need to get planes and visors and just like very simple, like I neutralized my wardrobe. I wanted to be like professional. But now I'm not really in that role, and that's why like I feel like that striped shirt, it brings a little bit of that like rock star back to what I like to
Yeah.
wear, because I hate this. I wear this because I was sitting at my friend's house all day. We were just chilling, but like this is not who I am. And like that's the hardest thing, is like trying to bring it back in but still looking like an adult.
Well, and I think that's like we're both in that stage where we're like, we don't even know what our style is at our age right now because we've gone through all those different roles. Like that's where I'm in right now. Like I was wanting to be so hard. I wanted to be one of those Western girlies that was wearing like cute little graphic shirts and like the cute kimonos and things like that. And I was just like, I always just felt bigger. Like, all the layering, I was just like, I just didn't like it. Like I have a couple pieces and I felt like I've moved away from that. And it's so hard to figure what your style is, especially when you work at home. I think it might be easier if you are buying pieces to make a wardrobe where you're going out working in, I don't know, customer service or whatever you're working out outside of the home. But I don't know. Like, are you feeling that way?
I mean, I hear it because you just naturally, like, you're just like, oh, I'm not seeing people, so I'm not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take out other people out of your narrative and decide that this is something that you're going to do for yourself, you're going to throw that striped shirt away. You're going to go donate it. And I want to see that punk rock because I can see where you're going with that. Like, why can't you take the new version of yourself, the new season of yourself, and keep with that person that you loved? Because the part of growing through these different seasons is that you get to learn about who you really are, and then you get to take all those pieces. Like, I love that you had your hair, have your hair shaved. I used to have my hair completely shaved, long extensions.
Yeah.
And I love
it's gone on both sides too. Yeah.
Yeah, like I love and I love that. So like honor that. Like be that person. And like people used to tell me I'm like I'm very edgy, but then on the other side I can like I have versatility, but I'm also like very distinct. Like I have really huge curly hair that is like a brand new thing that society is like embracing. I used to like sit there and like press it out, you know, like I have curves and it's like that made it used to like in the fashion industry when I started 10-15 years ago, that was not popular. Like you cannot be that way.
Yeah.
Even, and if you were behind the scenes wearing oversized black and like that. I don't wear black at all. I mean, I do from time to time, but like I find that I just look better in color. And like you found that like black isn't necessarily the best color for you.
Mm-hmm.
Black, I believe, looks really good on certain people, and some people it doesn't necessarily bring out your best hues. Like the dark brown is better, the softer pinks are better than white, or like a cream color is better than white.
Mm-hmm.
But like the first part is deciding exactly who you want to be in this season of your life and what the function is.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I get a lot from mothers is I need a lot of pockets because I get handed a lot of things. and so it's deciding what your functionality is for your clothes. And if it doesn't make you feel good, you cannot buy it. Like you have to just be like, I'm not buying this for being. You can buy clothes that align that punk rock style that are also comfortable to lay around the house in.
Yeah.
And that's just a decision you have to choose to make for yourself. And they do right now. They have all those really cool graphic tees. So if you want an oversized graphic tee and you want to wear some baggier pants, tuck the back of it into your bra. Or get it a little bit oversized and bring it around and tie it up in the front as like a knot. So you're giving you that cinched waist, fuller sleeve, and you get that little punk rock look. You get some, high, like ankle high, like Converse. They're super popular right now. You can just like slide right into those. And the function of that is really easy. Like, I think we think being stylish is like this, like overly done because so many people are like, oh, it's about being feminine. You have to have your nails done, your hair done, you're wearing high heels. And I don't think that's, for me, I don't believe that's what it is because that's like not tenable for.
Especially for a lot of people. Like, I don't know if I was telling this, but like I've been like embracing my natural, like,
I love
whatever
it.
this wave is. Like I've just been letting it air dry type of thing. And you wouldn't have caught me dead doing that years. I would blow dry my hair, straighten it, curl it, whatever it was. And
100%.
I don't know if it's just the cut I have right now where it's grown out, but like I have just been letting it air dry after I get out of the shower. And I'm just like, I am loving this. Like I love how I'm not wasting my time blow drying it and straightening it and curl it and all that kind of stuff, but I can still look and feel girly instead of just throwing it up because I'm just like, I don't have time to like style it today, which is normal.
Yeah. Right. And I think that's also the other thing. Like a lot of us really want function and we want to feel good. So like one of the things I've focused a lot on because it's hard to wear a lot of makeup when I'm teaching. I do like wearing makeup, but it also not necessarily the best for your skin. So I focus so much on skincare so I don't have to wear any makeup. I also like lip colors. Lip colors work really well for me. I have pretty big lips. And so like that's where I just capitalize. My hair is also like ringlet curly. So I've just started to like really embrace that, and like having messy curly hair is okay. Because that's just what it is. And so I think if you can, I feel like if you learn to like understand where you're at and then embrace that, and then decide those pieces of you through the journey and the season of your life that you really enjoyed about yourself, and then create like this new version, this new path, right? So I want to see that punk rock stuff. I want to see you out there. Like, that's great. Like, you already had a vision, and then you're you know, most of us do that. We grab the shirt that doesn't make us feel really good. We grab the items that doesn't make us feel the best. Bodysuits, amazing option for Hourglass, especially with somebody, because these bodysuits hold in your chest. You don't have to worry about a bra. Normally, I believe I have a smaller chest. My boobs are, I don't have kids, so my boobs are in the right, like in this proper place.
They just, yeah, they don't do much. They kind of are.
Yeah. And so like so it's just like, and also, so using those things that you have found that you're really comfortable in and focusing on only that, it will just, and you'll feel better every day. And then so the other goals that you're trying to accomplish, they'll slowly start to get done because you just feel better. Your mental's better. You start on a high.
Yeah. So the other thing that you really wanted to touch on, I know when we were talking about our emails, was color theory. And Ashley said she's had it done, but I've never, and I think it's because, and I've done, this silly TikTok filter where you like stick it on your face and it's like, yeah. And you're like, I'm like, I
Because
don't
it looks like
understand.
everything looks good.
You're like, okay,
I
sure.
did those too,
But
and
I also kind of feel like I am neutral, like reading through your things. I feel like I'm a very neutral color. So then I'm like, I don't know which one of these things I am. Like, they all look the same against my skin. Like, I don't know.
I definitely feel like I have a neutral undertone too. Like I feel like I look good in both gold and silver. I tend to lean towards gold jewelry for most of my jewelry, just because like I just like the way that it looks with the colors I wear, with like the darker greens and the maroon and stuff. I think silver clashes with that. But like when I wear like the softer colors, I think silver looks better than gold.
Yeah, you and I have a similar tone. So like I'm really tan for myself right now.
Yeah, I am
And
too.
so like, yeah. So like I get really olive, and jewel tones look really, really good on me. Reds, blues, greens. But then I also, like when I'm on the east, I get really porcelain white skin, and I have like dark black hair and like blue eyes. And so like then it's a whole different color tone. Even my makeup, like it's like I go from wearing like an olive based makeup to having to wear a neutral base. So that's also something to keep in mind. Like your skin kind of changes per season.
Yep.
But for more of the fairer skin where you don't specifically change as often, the neutral tones, now what's really great about the neutral tones is like stay away from the whites. You can wear the creams, the tans, the soft pinks. Those bring out like that rosy color that's super natural just in your skin tone. For like for like more of that olive like undertone, olive, like think about it, olive, where that is your neutral color. An olive green, like what you're wearing right now, that should be in replace of like white.
Yeah, this green color, the olive green color, is one of like my staple. Like I always gravitate towards that color. And that was one of the reasons why I did the color analysis, because I wanted to kind of get an idea of what other colors would look good on my skin tone, because my closet is grays and greens and like a little bit of blue. And I'm like, I want to do more color. I want to do other colors, but it was one of those things where I'm like, even if if that's the only colors that I feel confident in, I'm going to wear those. But I wanted to see what was out there. And I think it's kind of I don't know, it's fun. It was fun to do this.
Okay, so let's each pick like what is maybe like your favorite color and a scary color. Like a color that you're interested in wearing, but like don't try.
I don't know. I know that people tell me that bright pink, like neon pink, and then like brighter turquoise, when I wear those are the ones that people are like, oh, this color looks so good on you. Those are the two colors and so I bought a lot of that, but any like red is not, and I think that's because I have a lot of ginger. my kids, if you would see, are ginger, and then yellows and stuff I just would never ever wear. So
those, and And so that's like, you're very aware of that. So like those colors would wash you out. The yellow and the red would be a little too aggressive, where like red naturally matches like my tones in my skin. So for you, that's great. And I do think the pinks and the green, like you have light eyes. So like play on that, like the opposite of the color wheel, and like understanding that like it's what accents you, like your blue is like, you know, you want to wear greens are great for you. I bet like a burgundy during the like the deeper seasons, like a burgundy is probably really nice and brings out that natural red and green tones. But oranges or yellows, I'm sorry, yellow and like a red for you is exactly, it's not the right, it's not the right vibe. So when you're looking at clothes, you instantly don't even need to like, there's a whole category you don't even need to address. And also too, keep in mind, like season to season, not all of the colors that are good for you are going to be in that season. So sometimes the season for you, for anybody is not meant to, like, you are not necessarily meant to purchase like the color items. Maybe this is where you build your basics. Maybe you buy something a little bit more expensive. Maybe you buy some shoes. Maybe you buy some other stuff and it's filler pieces. But season to season, the colors change. And so like jewel tones aren't going to be the best feature for you. So it's a big jewel tone season right now. So it's probably not going to be the season that you would do really well. But then when we go into like those deeper, richer colors for fall, that's probably going to be a better option when you're going to want to, like, that's when you're going to save your money to buy more items then, so you can bring them into your wardrobe.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I've always been kind of hesitant on those brighter jewel tones. Like some of the colors I'm looking at here are like brighter green, purple colors, which I love purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors, but I always find that the clothing that I find in purple is very juvenile, I guess. Like I don't see a lot of really cute purple colors that are, I feel like, in the area that I want to be in. Like I really like that clean aesthetic, like minimalistic vibe. Like that's kind of where I've been kind of treading towards, like in my more recent like purchases. Things that I can mix and match and make different outfits, be like functionality, like you were saying earlier. And like that limeish green, that brighter green is in my color wheel apparently. And as much as I love that color, I'm so scared to put that on because I just feel like it's going to be like, whoa, look at her. She's wearing like this really bright green thing. And like, I don't know how it will look on my body. I should try it. Like, I like the color, but I haven't tried it. But I've always worn black because I've been told that was slimming. But then I've always felt like it didn't look slimming because it just, my complexion was just never brightened by it.
So there's this whole generation that like body shamed themselves forever. We are the millennial generation after that has like gotten body shamed as children. Wear black because you need to be slimmer and all of this stuff, and like you just got to throw it all in the trash. Like you've already picked out some amazing colors. You're super aware of what your colors are, and every time you said that you have stepped out of your comfort zone, people are like, oh my god, that looks great. Like we have to like let go of like whatever it is that we set into our heads, and we've decided, yes, black is slimming because black is like a void of color, right? Like in the color spectrum, like what we see, it's like void of color. So if you're trying to create some color blocking or anything like that, that's also really great, is where like maybe you get a dress. It's also not super in style right now, was like where you get the dresses where they have like, black like in the center. So it like makes it seem like your waist. Those are great dresses for the hourglass body shape. Try to stay away from the black. Like stay away from it.
I feel black, but like I also feel like patterns have always been like a huge like stake thereof, because I feel like it also like accentuated or maybe feel wider. And so like the only, like even stripes, like like I have like a couple striped shirts that I bought because I was like, oh, these would look really good. Like they're like Sabrina was saying, like, you know, they're a little bit more professional, like pairing with like nicer slacks and things like that. But then I always like don't wear them because I made it feel like it made me feel lighter. I have tried
What
like
is the style? Like, what would be, so like, if you were to do a pattern, that's where I talk about the pieces. So you pick one of your body, one of your areas. You're going to pick top or bottom. You put the pattern, and then you put, and for an hourglass shape, actually, if you got the right shape, as long as it cinches in the center and you're wearing the right size, not oversized, you're wearing the correct size, then you should be fine. As long, but what I think you might be doing is you're probably getting like a boxy shaped top as a pattern. And then there's the set that goes on the bottom, which might be a fuller leg. And now you've created this box for yourself with no weight.
Yeah.
And then this big puffy leg. And you're creating you're not moving around your natural curves. So if you have the fuller pant, you need to put that bodysuit with it. Then you pair maybe a solid like blazer, if those are super popular right now, or like a cropped little jacket that comes right underneath the breast line since you're short waisted. Or you do it the opposite, right? You put the pattern on top, and maybe you do like a pencil skirt or a slight A-line skirt, like a bias skirt, like those little silk skirts. They're really popular at Target right now. Just something like a little satiny skirt underneath. And that helps break up that pattern, but lets you still wear the pattern, but also really focus on what your actual body shape is.
Yeah.
And that will remove, that should hopefully remove your feeling of, oh, this is like, I feel bigger.
Yeah.
I feel oversized.
Well, and like I said, I've for so long, I've been like doing, like trying to create that like straight line look, and it did nothing for my body. And I've learned over the last, having to embrace the crop top because I feel that's all I can find, and having to like embrace like showing my tummy area. Like
I know it's been a challenge. Lots of tummy tops lately.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like it's kind of helped me like confirm that, like, okay, yeah, like if I do have like that crop top jacket where it cinches in, at least shows that's where my waistline is, it helps that way. So I'm just getting out of that comfort zone. And I think that's what was my problem, and getting out of that comfort zone and trying these different pieces has really helped me feel a little bit more confident in the clothing I choose.
I love that. I also love how aware you guys are. And I never realized how aware people really are of what's kind of going on, and with them getting dressed and picking clothing. And I'm glad that people are into this. This is, I love this. I love doing this. I could do this all day. I could shop all day long. So it's really cool that you guys, first you're into the color, and then you're really aware of your body shape, and just understanding either like what you were doing before isn't making you feel the best. So knowing that is a change. And I think you're going to see like such good results when you just decide to stick with all the items that are out of your comfort zone. And then one day it will be your comfort zone and you'll feel so much more confident. And yeah, like I'm, you're going to say no to all of the shirts, all of those striped shirts. Or shirts that just are oversized. Maybe restyle it. Maybe put it in a different way. Like I think there's a lot you guys are doing like great with like different colors. I had no idea kind of what I was walking into. I was really like, I'm really impressed. Like, you guys know a lot about the colors and what really works for yourself. And what I want to see is you be the person from the old season of your life and take those little like things that you loved about yourself, and then use them in this new like season, because you guys, you got it. Like you really understand your body shapes.
Yeah, I think we're just kind of both at that season where like our kids are old enough. They're not like on us all the time anymore. And we're realizing
like have good outfits. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know who I am. I want to be back to what I was before I was sucked
your
dry for years.
Yeah, I have to 100% agree to that, because like I felt like I had to just dress like where I could just take off running after my kid if they were like deciding that they were going to run the opposite direction on the playground or something like that. So it's like a lot of athletic wear or like just flowy t-shirts and things like that where, you know, I'm not going to buy something nice with my child spitting up on me all the time. And I think we're both just, our kids aren't babies anymore. And neither of our kids are babies anymore. So like it's getting to that point and then finding what that style is and then finding that, because my thing I feel like is like I see the style that I want to do, like I see it, I can see it on TikTok, I can see it on all the things, but finding, like right now I'm in a location where there's not a lot of stores. Like my only stores to really go shop for clothing are Target and TJ Maxx. Like there's not a mall here or anything like that. And I'm trying to get past that point of like, okay, it's okay to buy things online and send it back if you need to, but I like trying things on because I like there are certain things that like I want to make sure it fits in certain areas. And again, we talked about it, like I feel every store is different in their sizing, but it's one of those things where
There are some really great online stores, and I don't disagree with you. I'm not like I love shopping. So like the art of shopping, I know it sounds weird saying it that way, but like touching the clothes, feeling the clothes, like
Mhm.
having that experience, like
Oh
I
yeah,
could do it
because
all
like
day.
texture is a huge thing. I don't know if about you, Sabrina, but like if it's scratchy,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
like if I put it on and I'm like, oh no, like it's just, even if it's like the cutest thing ever, if I don't like the way it feels on my arm or whatever, it's a 100% no. And so that's like my biggest thing is like how does it feel when I have it on?
Yeah. And that's a big, that's part of like you we're talking about like your function, like what's your purpose for wearing this? Why are you putting it on?
Mhm.
And as much as like it doesn't fashion doesn't have to, or like feeling good in your clothes, it doesn't have to be itchy. It doesn't need to make you like not breathe. Like you're not doing a photo shoot. You're not running, and it's also unnecessary. Be comfortable in your clothes, wear the right size. Um Also, it might be good for you to find a few boutiques online that
Mhm.
you really like. There's a couple that I've seen that I've just like really fell in love with, and I was like, I would love how they do their marketing and how they show the clothes. And that could be a really good avenue when you're just not around stores.
That's definitely, I have definitely been purchasing more things from boutiques just because it's more the style that I'm looking for, depending on like what I'm looking for. But and I can find it, but also like I kind of gravitate towards ones where they are showcasing it on more fuller figure bodies, and it's not just someone who's a size 2, because I know I will never be a size 2 again. There's no way that my hips will ever be a size 2 again, and I'm okay with that. Like I think when we first have our first baby, we were always like, let's get back to the size we were pre-pregnancy, but we're not taught that our body actually physically changes. Like it's not just a weight gain that you're carrying the baby, but your hips get wider, your chest area gets wider, all these things happen. And so my foot has grown. Like I know that's
I was
crazy, but
gonna say, like, yeah, it's a
like half
whole
of my shoes don't fit anymore, and I'm just like, my mind is just kind of blown by it. And I know that that's a thing that happens, but until it happens to you, you don't really like take it into consideration. And
so
so
what
I've definitely been doing more boutiques.
so one of the things also too, as you're saying, like, oh, half my shoes don't fit, get rid of them,
Yeah.
donate
Oh
them, let
no.
them have,
We move too
like, let them
often. I
have
feel like
another
that's
store.
like military spouses. I mean, I don't know about you, but like I feel like I get like do a
That's good.
clean out my closet at least once a year. Cause like if I haven't touched it, I'm like, I'm getting rid of it. Like I already was
Yeah,
saying I already walked into my closet the other day and I was like, it's time to do another like closet clean out. Like we need to get
yeah,
rid of some of these things. I'm not wearing it. It's not bringing me joy. I love that. Like if it doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it. I know
100%.
Sabrina's in like the middle of like doing all this right now, but
Oh yes.
um but I think
Yeah,
that's
no, that's
important.
great.
Like
Like,
if it doesn't fit your style or you feel comfortable anymore, give it to a friend, donate it, sell it, whatever. But I think
yeah. One of the things when I work one on one is we talk about like our core words of who we want to represent when we're putting clothes on, or like what we like energy we want to represent. For me, coming back into my like body and myself, like being sexy is like super important to me. And it's not about like having my boobs out or butt
Yeah.
out, but like feeling really sexy and comfortable in my clothes, feeling really confident. I don't mind people looking at me, but that's just like my personality. Like I also teach, so I'm like in the front. So I love to have like bold and vibrant colors. I really want it to be like magnetic. So those are the words I focus on. So one of the things that can help you also on top of just knowing your body shape is like, if I put this on my body, what am I going to feel? And so like I did a photo shoot this weekend, and jewelry is a big thing for me. I love jewelry because I like really simple lines, but I feel like I can throw a necklace on and some lipstick and I can like pull myself together no matter where I have to go. So I feel like as you're going through, you're cleaning your wardrobe or really defining your style and picking the colors that fit you the best. What are the words that you like want to like represent yourself in this new season? Because you guys are like powerful women who created children, you're a military family, so your lives are changing all the time. That's a very hard thing to go through.
Yeah.
And
I definitely feel sexy is one of the words that I am trying to, or at least I want to feel a little bit different. Cause like, you know, like we've been saying, like I have just been in that mom mode for the last 9 years. The last 9 years I've just been in that mode, and I don't have to be in that mode anymore. I am still a mom, but I don't have to be like
the
dressed.
role shifted. The
The
role
role
changed.
shifted. Like, you know, my kids are old enough. They don't need me to carry a diaper bag around. They don't
Yeah.
need me to have all the pockets, because they have pockets now and they can carry their own things. So that's been one of the things that I've been doing. Like I've been finding like jean shapes that fit my body a little bit better and like show off my curves, show off. I love my butt. And my husband
Yeah.
loves my butt, which is great. So like it's great that we both like how it looks and like how I can like find articles of clothing that like make it look nice. I do, like I said, I'm very self-conscious about my chest area and my tummy area just because like I don't think it's sexy, but I'm in the process of self-love. Like it's okay.
So what if you have you ever done a bra fitting?
I have, but I feel like no matter,
Like, and I'm not talking Victoria's Secrets. I'm talking like a high end.
I have not gone to a hand, but like that again,
Okay.
I feel like that is that's not accessible. At least I feel like not for military families, because we live in areas that don't have a
So
lot.
maybe next time you're able to like get into like a bigger mall or something like that, or you do any traveling somewhere, I think for you specifically, it's very important that you invest in like a really good bra fitting
Mhm.
and
So where would like
finding.
suggestions like in a bigger mall, like what stores would do that?
So there are some online. Like I really like this brand called Cup
Mhm.
and this brand called Naked. I also have a much smaller chest. So this is one of my like I don't understand the bigger chested
Yeah.
bones. And Third Love is a really popular
So
one.
I have a third love bra, and I probably
Okay.
should order more. I ordered one of these after I've had it for years and years and years, and it's one of my favorite ones because it does fit well. I have fluctuated in weight since I ordered that bra, so like I think I need to like redo that measurements. I will say though, when I first got that bra, I was like, I'm never going back to another bra. But then again, like I said, I don't really wear a bra often just because I just wear the sports bras and stuff like that. So I had that bra that
I think that's how like I think the culture has become because I don't even know the last time I wore a bra. I like told myself the other day I was like I gotta buy a bra. I don't even know the last time I put one on. And I mean I wear what I wear for working out, but like when I don't like I just throw a dress on and my boobs. I'm lucky. I'm at a place in my life where I don't need.
I would love that.
Right,
I
but so it's
I've
like
seen
I
those like
just
what is it, the cake, like I've seen those all over my like these new, they're not new, they're probably not new, but you know, all over my For You page is these like little cakes. They're these new like it's not sticky because I can't do sticky residue. That's one of my things I should like sticky bras and things like that have never been things that I've been able to use just because like my skin just does not do well with adhesive, Band-Aid, anything like that. And these ones are supposedly like just stick on like with your body heat.
I've seen them. I don't know because like I have tried some before and every single time I like feel like I have like it makes me have like a sandwich boob. I don't know how else to say. Like I think it's supposed to just like lift it up and it like ends up like
a cliff
sandwich.
kind of, because it's
Oh,
weird
yeah,
when
it's
you have little
like
boobs.
mine are right now. Like so, but I will say like Third Love was really great.
All the ones you're talking about the other day actually, which we'll get off this and we'll probably get spammed for it like 8 million times.
For sure.
Probably.
But I'm really not sure how they work. I love nipples. I have zero problem like having my nipples show. I don't know if that's like if that was like a fashion thing that I did, and maybe I'm also, not a mother, so I just like don't care. But I find that I like just like whatever.
Oh, I mean, usually that way too. Like I don't like I'm wearing one of those like really thin like yoga bras right now, so like most of the time
those
does that,
but
it's always nice, like, because I mean, I don't know, like you guys can't really see it, but like I just feel like I mean, you can see this side's a little bit bigger and it's a uniboob. Like I feel like I just have a uniboob. Like that's just how I feel 90% of the time.
There's this brand called Negative that I really like, and then Cup. And they're just sheer bras, but they have different like straps for like different chest. And so what you're talking about is this uniboob, and that's what's making you feel like less sexy and less unattractive. That is from the sports bras. So what you really need to do is like find a bra that works for you. Because I think I think for you especially, that's gonna make a huge difference.
And I can feel different when I have a bra on. Like with, like I wore that bodysuit outfit I was talking about earlier the other day, and I wear it with my Third Love bra because like it's the same color tone. So I also don't like when my bra shows. Like that's a weird thing for me. So
no, I hate a bra showing.
Yeah, so like I like if that's like when I'm looking for tops, like if I can't hide my bra strap with that like length, it's typically a no, because my boobs are too big to go without a bra. Like I feel like I have to have some type of support, whether it is that sports bra or whatever. But it's one of those things where it looks good when I have a bra on, but it's also like I just feel like I have two different sizes, so I can't really wear it. But I feel like there are a lot of brands out there there are so many women who are in the same boat as me. I know I'm not the same. I know I'm not the only one that has that issue. So I do think that the industry is starting to get a little bit better. I just haven't gone bra shopping in probably way too long.
So one thing that I know you didn't want to push in the episode, but I after reading and looking through the workbooks that you sent us, absolutely we want to make sure that people have access to it, is your workbooks. So you can kind of tell us a little bit like what is included in those workbooks so that people know before. And then I know you were talking about giving us a discount code, so that's super exciting for our listeners because it's worth reading for sure.
Yeah, so I created these workbooks basically out of working with multiple women, all different walks of life, and the number one issue is body shape and understanding the body shape. So I created the Epic Body Bible for you to kind of have this little DIY experience on your own for you to be able to go through and understand your body shape. I also created it so every style that fits your body, I put it in there. So you're able to actually have like a visual. Then you can go into the store and learn how to shop for yourself. Not everybody can afford a stylist. Stylists are very expensive, but you do deserve to understand your body shape and really like love the clothes that you're in. And my other workbook that I love to pair with that is the Color Confidence. So it is color theory, but it's also just really like understanding what kind of colors you want to wear and creating in the workbook. I have this little collage place. It's one of my favorite parts of the workbook. It's where you really get to play with your colors and see how they all kind of flow together and see how you can create a really good cohesive wardrobe. My style transformation workbook, that is like, it takes about 90 days to go through it. If you have other things going on in your life, you can move through that pretty fast. If you just sit down and you're like, I'm going to get through my closet and go through my budget and everything. But this breaks it down to make all of these really mundane tasks of like cleaning out your closet, finding your budget. Like it just breaks it down into like really digestible pieces. So you're able to create yourself a really cohesive wardrobe. Those are my 3 workbooks that I have. And then I offer 2 personal like in-person sessions. One of them is a style therapy session. So it's almost kind of like the conversation we had here, just a little bit more personalized. Again, like diving into maybe like the trauma of things, getting a little bit personal. So that's about a 1.5 hour session. And we'll go through defining your style. We go through the colors. We go through the whole workbook. So you have all those workbooks. You get the access to the workbooks as well. And then we move through all of the questions. And then you go through that yourself. The other service I offer is actually doing a closet edit with somebody. So that does take about 3.5 hours. It goes by really fast. It is a daunting task because cleaning out your closet is really tiring. But it is really well worth it and I'm able to break it up into like 2 pieces. So part of it, when you clean out your closet, it's breaking it down into like 3 different elements. And it's really like, what are your go-to pieces? What are your items with tags? And then what are the pieces that you love but don't wear often? And so it's really just looking at your closet and then looking at the style that you are wanting and seeing that most people can redo their style with the clothing they already have. Or they can give a lot away, resell a lot of it, make money back, and buy filler pieces. And so I really teach people to utilize what they already have and just rework what they really enjoy about themselves and removing the things that just don't make them feel really good. And so I try to make it really tenable for everybody. I don't want it to be overpriced or super expensive because it's really also there's a cost of clothing. I do not pay the clothing as extra. On my website, I do have a place where you can shop your body shape. So as a Triangle Body Shape, we update this weekly, and there's stuff from Amazon, there's stuff from multiple different stores, all different price points. High, you can find something for 1,000, you can find something for 50. So there's all different price points. You're able to shop styles that are unique and specific to your body shape. You're obviously welcome to shop any of the other pages, but it kind of takes the thinking out of it for you. You're like, I'm on this page, I'm an hourglass body shape or triangle body shape, and you know that everything on here is for you. So I offer a lot of different ways for us to stay in touch, and I'm looking into this next chapter of my life. I'm starting to bring in like the yoga and the mindset, so you're able to like really connect with your body through movement each day as you really like learn to dress for the life you want.
I love it. I'm really excited for it to get shared out, and like we will make sure all of your links and everything are added into the show notes. So if you guys are looking for what her website is, it should be in the show notes of where you're listening to this. That should be easy enough for you guys to find. And again, we will post on our social media as well as in the show notes the discount code. So that's really cool. So you guys will have an option to also use that. I know that this is we were questioning about this, but we both are really into it. I was like, will the military spouses be into this? And I was like, yeah, because we do move. And like, I know personally from living over here in Europe, my style had to shift. Like, you cannot go dressed the way you would in America in the streets here.
Right?
Like, that is just not the same thing. And so I think we live in different places. We live in the South. We live in the North. We live in
that
New
was
York.
my biggest thing is going from Alaska to the South again. And
that
I was
style changes.
Alaska to South, and I had to like change my whole wardrobe. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I'm still in the same area, but like I just had all this like the clothes I had was everything from after I had the baby. Like it was everything that fit after I had my baby when I moved to the South. And so it was baggy and things like that. So I'm like trying to like fit into what should fit on my body as well as my age.
And your person, like location changes personality too. In my opinion, I feel like when I'm in New York and the city, I'm totally I'm a different human than I am out here, you know, barefoot, walking around teaching yoga. Like it's a different personality. And you can honor both of those sides of you, which is great, but it's also good. It's also interesting because you guys do get to play with that a little bit more than most people who don't move around a lot. You also get to experience like totally different cultures in different countries where you, like you said, like Europeans don't walk around like in pajamas like some Americans
They don't.
in
Yeah,
the
not at
States
all.
do.
Like
Yeah, my
even
wardrobe would not
leggings
be
are
good in
kind of like
Europe.
questionable if you wear leggings out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I was gonna say, like, most of my clothing is leggings, like athletic wear. I was like, I would have to buy a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, people don't like it, and it's such a different. Yeah, it's just such a different culture in different places that you get to learn, which is really kind of fun. Like it gets you to like explore different sides of yourself, which a lot of people don't get to. And I thought that too. I was like, I don't know. I was like, is this like really going to resonate? But I thought about it and I was like, you guys move a lot. You change locations a lot. You probably make more decisions than some other families because you might be solo parenting for a while if your partner isn't around, and like decision fatigue is real. Like why not take it out of that? And you know, if your partner is gone for a long period of time, you might not be feeling as sexy as you want to feel and desired, but like if you get to give that to yourself every day, then that does like that is something that every person deserves.
Yeah, and as our spouses, we already struggle with finding our worth, our place in society, our place within the community because we do move so often. We do, have to start over so often. So having that confidence in your looks and your style and how you feel is only going to just help you along that journey. And I think that's important, that if you have at least that little bit of that yourself where you can feel you, hopefully it will make your other transitions in the military community a little bit more seamless.
I can see that. Like if you know who you are, you love yourself, then all the rest of the stuff that's going on is just like the necessary means to an end, right? And so, and I do talk on TikTok, I actually talk a lot about mindset. So a lot of like, I do a little bit more mindset stuff on TikTok. My Instagram is more fashion focused, but I do talk about that, like knowing your worth, having those conversations with ourselves that you would have with your best friend or somebody random, like my yoga students. I'm always like, oh, love your body, love this, and then I get in front of the mirror and I was like, you big belly, like, like, but we can't talk to ourselves like we have to talk to ourselves in the same way. And I can see that moving around, maybe not being able to create really good connections with people because it's so short term and temporary, can take like such a mental toll. And so getting dressed every day just shouldn't be that problem.
Another thing. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on. I really do think that it's going to be something that a lot of our listeners are really interested in. And hopefully you guys will take this opportunity to get these workbooks and really kind of get to know your style and learn like what it is. As a conclusion, I was gonna say I was listening to a TikTok the other day and I thought that when she was going through her closet, it was like the most, instead of doing like does this bring me joy? She says, does this serve the person I want to be in the future? And I feel like that was like, this is the episode of like that. Like, don't keep things just because it brings you joy. If it doesn't look good, right, and it doesn't feel good when you're wearing it, it can still bring you joy to look at it. But like, why, if you can't wear it and feel confident in it? I was kind of like,
I feel like that's really important for military spouses because, like, I have so many things that I'm like, I should keep this just in case. But like that just in case mentality, like, I'm never, like, I have things in my closet that I've had just in case for 4 years and I have yet to wear them. And I'm just kind of like, they need to go. Like, I'm not going to wear it. If I have an event that comes up, then I'm most likely going to go buy a new dress. Yeah.
So I was on actually another podcast yesterday about like, it was a love therapy podcast. So it was about learning to love yourself. So the thing with that item of clothing is the memory is not in the clothing. The memory is in yourself. It's in your soul. And a lot of us want to hold on to that like actual item, but like embrace and remember those amazing like nights you went out dancing in those skinny girl jeans, and then like if it doesn't fit the next season of your life, because like nobody's wearing mid-rise jeans with like big old pockets on it, what was probably a True Religion, like we're not wearing those. You don't need to keep them anymore. Like we say goodbye to like our low rise jeans. I know these kids are trying to bring it back, but like nobody wants low rise back. So it's like,
Yeah, I'm not wearing
yeah,
low-rise jeans.
so it's just like remembering like who you were, and then remember what it is that you liked about that energy, and then go and create that in something new, and let those pants have a new journey. Like let the clothing have a new experience, and like let it go. Because with all of your moving around, with all of kind of these unknowns, I'm sure that like you don't get to necessarily know when all of this stuff is going to happen. You kind of just have to, the last thing you want to be is uncertain in who you are and what you want to represent to the world. And all of us women want to feel attractive, sexy, and comfortable in our skin. So just knowing that you have that power every single day, no matter where you are, to dress for the life you want and love how you feel in your clothes, like should feel really empowering, because we don't get a lot of choices some days in our lives. Like the world does it for us.
Yep, I am in that season. So I completely, yes, we are just living that life.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on. I know that we will be talking after this, so we get all that connections. But if you guys are listening, thank you guys for listening. And I hope that this brought you guys joy and you guys move forward into like trying to live the life you want to live and not just staying where you are because it's easy. I think that's where it comes on with me and Ashley. It's easy to not, but do the things that will bring you forward into the life that you want to live. So,
yes.
As we like to say, as we end, is Ruck Up Buttercup, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.